he proceeds to lock the door, okay, to show them how to lock a door. And after a bit of silence, she just saw him. He basically brought out a knife and he was holding a knife by his side. And she receives this really long message in her DMs, either on Instagram or TikTok, with this person who supposedly just raped her, detailing the whole rape. Then he talks about the fact that he used a blade to cut her in her intimate area to stimulate her first time with him. So what exactly is happening in Nigeria? Let's get straight into it. So welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. I hope you're coming to stay, and if you're a returning subscriber, then take your seat. So today's video is about the seemingly rising issue of rape cases in Nigeria. Okay, this is mainly based on social media. The social media platform I'm speaking about is TikTok. So lately, 2 viral videos went of 2 girls in Nigeria speaking about rape cases. So we're going to speak about this case first. Okay, so this girl came out, her name is Fems. She spoke about her case with a photographer who basically raped her and her friend. Okay, so I'm using the term rape for PG purposes because YouTube is not going to like the other word. So I'm going to briefly go over the story. All the details will not be completely accurate, but I will be linking her video down in the description box. Hopefully I'll also put a few clips of the video. She tells us that she was reached out to on Instagram by someone who was basically scouting her for a modeling gig, and he told her that he would pay her 140,000 naira. Okay, this is in the Nigerian currency, and he said that he was coming from the UK to Nigeria and he's a photographer. So she did let him know that she didn't want to be out there too late because he had asked her to come by 6 p.m. and she said her parents are strict, so also for her own safety, she did not want to be out there too late. He did ask her if she was a minor, and she said no, she's not a minor. Ultimately, she just opted to stay at one of her friends in case it ended late, and she let her parents know where she was headed to. So she heads to this modeling gig with her friend, and the whole scenery, the whole vibes, everything is just a bit off, okay? I guess after some sort of consideration, he changed the time from 6 p.m. to about 11 a.m. the next day. And she was with her friend, so she decided to head over with her friend. He asked her who she was coming with, and she said, I'm coming with one of my friends. And he was like, well, you didn't tell me this, but it's okay. So when they reached there, he comes out from the gate to the location to pick them up, and they go inside with him. So yeah, the vibes were completely off. When they got there, the place is kind of empty, like the living room area, there's nobody there, and this is supposed to be somewhere that they're doing a photo shoot. So she obviously asks us like, oh, like what is this place? I'm not really understanding why there's not much going on. And he basically says, no, this is just a content space. He's rented out the place for the shoot specifically, and their makeup artist is already there. And she's like, oh, well, I don't see the makeup artist. Where's the makeup artist? That's when he decides to say, oh, the makeup artist was already here, but because she hadn't arrived, she forgot something and she's gone back to get it. So don't worry, the makeup artist is going to be right on her way. That's when this international photographer decided to tell her, oh, you've got oily skin. I think you should go into one of these rooms, freshen up, as in go and take a shower, clean up. Okay, and she was like, no, like I just came down from a car with AC. I'm okay, I'm not even sweating. And he was like, okay, well, anyways, you and your friend can use this room. He was giving charges to her friend to help her charge her phone. Her phone was dead. Like, yeah, you guys basically get comfortable in this room. So you can imagine that this story gets really dark from this point onwards, but I'll try to go through it as quickly as I can. So because he had insisted that she takes a shower, she ends up taking her shower, she gets into a robe, and her friend is still charging her phone. Then he calls her over to another room that he's in to show her her outfit for the shoot. So she comes with her friend to the room, and they're trying to find this outfit, trying to see this outfit, and he's like, oh, you know what, never mind, I want it to be a surprise. All of a sudden, he's changed his mind. So they go back to the room that they were in. He then comes into the room and says, okay, I have a key for you. This is the key you can use to lock the door. He proceeds to lock the door, okay, to show them how to lock a door. And he's like, yeah, just in case there's going to be other photographers around, in case you want to feel safe when you're changing, then yeah, you can lock the door like this. So her friend is against the wall trying to charge her phone, and she's sitting on the bed, and they're basically texting each other like, what's going on? And she's telling her friends, oh, I feel a bit odd about this, like why has he locked the door, what's really happening here? And her friend's like, well, don't worry, trying to reassure her, trying to get her to stay calm. She says that the room went silent, and after a bit of silence, she just saw him. He basically brought out a knife and he was holding the knife by his side. So her natural reaction was to obviously shout, and he was immediately not happy with the fact that she did that. I'm not going to go into the graphics of the whole story, but just know this man proceeded to take advantage of both of these girls, okay? He raped both of these girls in front of each other using the threat of the knife, basically saying if they tried anything, he was going to use the knife to hurt them. And God knows what else. So yeah, that's the story of this person. If you want to see or hear the story in more graphic detail, then definitely I would advise you to head to her page on TikTok, because she still has the video up. So that's the first case. She came out and her video went viral. A lot of people were reposting her video so that it could get increased awareness. And she actually did file a police case against this person. So as the case stands, they did go to court as of the 17th of February, but things didn't necessarily go in her favor. She had good counsel. She had a good lawyer with her, but of course he came up with some lies and tried to basically lie about her character and her friend's character. You know, Nigeria is generally a man's world, okay? So yeah, but the case has been adjourned until the 19th of March. So we'll kind of have to wait until the 19th of March to see what's happening with that. So in the same week that that situation has basically happened and is ongoing, another video goes viral of another creator who is called Mirabelle on TikTok. And she tells her story completely differently. Mirabelle's case, she comes out and says that she was at home on a early Sunday morning after having a long night trying to sleep. She suffers from insomnia, and usually she drinks or she decides to be on cloud nine to help her to get to sleep, okay? So this particular night was the same story. She had to drink a bit, bring herself to cloud nine, and then she fell asleep. So she wakes up to knocking early Sunday morning. She assumes it's her neighbors. She lives alone, but she knows that some of her neighbors, they're going to be at church, but maybe someone needed something. So she heads to the door to open the door to see what that person wants, and all she feels is a hard push. She hits her head against the door and she passes out. When she finally opens her eyes, she sees a man figure on top of her, and that person is proceeding to grape her. So in the midst of the trauma, it's like she's gone back to passing out, or she's closed her eyes again. And after the whole encounter lasted a little while, that person left. She realizes after the person's left, after she's, cleaned up and is trying to put herself together, that she's bleeding, and she just assumes, okay, maybe my cycles come on. She's not really assuming that it's anything more sinister. But then she receives this really long message in her DMs, either on Instagram or TikTok, with this person who supposedly just raped her, detailing the whole rape. So I'm going to put the message up on the screen. You may need to pause and read it in detail, but this was one of the most disgusting messages I've seen in a very long time, maybe in my entire life, actually. Obviously, this person that sent her the message is of a fake account. And they basically start going into details about what they did to her. They talk about the fact that they've met before at least twice, and she rejected him. She refused to give her number. He talks about how much pleasure he got from doing this to her. Then he talks about the fact that he used a blade to cut her in her intimate area to stimulate her first time with him. Honestly, this was the most shocking DM I've seen in a very long time. So you can imagine Mirabelle, she came out, she was crying in her video, speaking about the fact that she's been through this. She showed the text messages, and she had a lot of dark thoughts in this video, okay? She was basically saying goodbye to her family. And the next video that followed after that was a video of her in the hospital with an IV drip. And she was laying on a hospital bed. Again, she was speaking about the fact that she had attempted on her life. So you can imagine this video went viral because people were just shocked by the audacity of this person to even send her a DM after doing what he did to her. A lot of people were supporting her, even Very Dark Man, who takes on a lot of cases in Nigeria. He also called out for her to reach out to him so he could help her get to some sort of justice. And yeah, he was very emotional about it. A lot of people, honestly, when I saw it, I was shocked, right? But then this creator came out and did a whole analysis, and to him, he says that Mirabel is crying out wolf. So if you don't know what that term means, I'll be so surprised. That literally means when someone basically is telling a lie. So he says that Mirabel is doing all of this for clout. She's attention seeking, and he does not believe her story at all. Guys, his breakdown, I'm going to put parts of it, but yeah, just to give you a brief idea of what he's saying in his video before I play the video, he's basically saying that she's lying. He's alleging that this Preston person, this fake account, is actually Mirabel. So he says that there's a lot of similarities in how that person texts and how Mirabel also writes her captions. So the use of the word so, like she uses double O and the same Preston person uses double O. He just sees a lot of inconsistencies in her story. So he says that, well, if she's been cut by a blade and she's obviously severely injured, how come she's able to wear a pair of jeans and she doesn't even look like she wasn't in no hospital gown or anything like that? And if she attempted on her life, especially in the way that she says she did, how come she was in the hospital for such a short period of time, which she was in the hospital for a short period of time? And then the most important thing as well was the fact that this person mentioned in their text message that Mirabel definitely knows him. She complimented his perfume more than once, and they've had 2 encounters. So surely she must have an idea of who this person is. But Mirabel says that she does not. When he made this video, a lot of creators started to doubt this, and they were like, well, that's true. Is she clout chasing? And honestly, the most dangerous thing with her clout chasing, if she is the fact that this would have a big impact on other victims. As you can see, the first case I've spoken about is genuinely something that did happen. Okay, that person is really, really a victim, and she's even taken initiative to go to court because of this situation. So we can confirm that definitely this happened to her, right? But with Mirabel's case, if it turns out to be some sort of clout chasing act, like this person alleges, then it would make it difficult for victims to come out and speak out again, because who's going to believe them? Everyone's going to think maybe you're just doing this right now to get a bit of attention on social media. With Mirabel's case as well, there's not much update at all. The last video we saw of her, she was still at the hospital, and really after that she's not said anything else. So I guess we have to sort of wait and see which direction that is going. But I made this video to basically highlight the fact that the violence against women in Africa is a huge concern, okay? And it's kind of scary to see that in such a short frame of time, 2 victims have come out from one country to speak about a rape case. Whether both of them are true or not, one is even too many, okay? These are young women that are a victim in their own country. If they can't get justice in their country, where can they get justice? It shouldn't even be difficult for them to get justice in court. The fact that the first case is even adjourned until the 19th of March because the victim was basically lied against, the character was tarnished in court, is insane. Nigeria definitely needs to crack down on the violence against women, because the rape is not the only issue. Obviously, women are getting kidnapped. There's just a lot going on. Okay, but I'm going to leave this video over here. I would like to encourage you to please subscribe, okay, like and comment on this video, share this video as well with other people, and I'll see you on the next one.